Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
We are learning Mishna Kiddushin, Perek Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Vav, Mishnah 6. Okay, so we know that if a Kohen, let's say, marries a woman he's not allowed to marry, divorcee, giores, a convert, the child that is born is a cholol. If it's a male, is a cholol. He's not able to perform the services of a Kohen. If it's a girl, it's a chalola. She may not marry a Kohen. So now that's going to be what the Mishnah is going to be focusing on. So it says like this: Bas chalol zachar, the daughter of a male chalol, pesula min hakahuna la'olam, will always be disqualified from marrying a Kohen forever. Now, forever means that a chalol passes his status down to his son, and he to his son, and someone down the line of male descendants. So if you have a chalol, okay, his father, let's say, married a grusha, married a divorcee, he's a chalol. Now he marries a woman. Now let's say he marries a woman he's allowed to marry. I mean, he's allowed to marry anybody. He's allowed to marry anybody. So they have a child. Excuse me. And that child is a boy. His status is he's a chalol, which means that if he then has a daughter, his daughter is a chalola. Let's say that son has a son. That son's a chalol. His daughter is a chalola. So the point is that a chalol passes on his status of chalol to all the male descendants. Which means that the daughter of any one of those males is going to be a chalola, and she cannot marry a kohen. So that's Bas Chalol Zachar Pesula Min HaKahuna La'olam. The daughter of a male Chalol is invalid. She may not marry a Kohen forever, down the line. Next, however, Yisrael Shanasa Chalola, but a Yisrael that marries a Chalola, meaning her father was a Kohen, married a woman he's not allowed to marry, has a girl. That girl's a Chalola. Okay? A Chalola cannot marry a Kohen, but she can marry Yisrael. Now, if she marries a Yisrael, what's the status of her daughter? The answer is Bitoy Kasher LaKahuna. His daughter is able to marry a Kohen because the invalidation of Chalol only passes through the male, not through the female. Now, the reason for that, I will get to that for a second. And then again, the Mishnah says, Chalol Shanasa Bas Yisrael, a Chalol that marries a daughter of Yisrael, B'tay Psula Kahuna. His daughter is invalid for a kahuna. Because again, the chalol passes on the status of chalol to his children. However, if you're talking about a chalola who marries a Yisrael, now if she marries another chalol, then the child's going to be a chalol because the father's a chalol. But a chalola who marries a non-kohen, the child is not going to be, and they have a girl, she's not a chalala, because since her father was not a chalal, then the girl is not a chalal. It's not a chalala. Now, the explanation is like this. Let me read how they explain here. We learned in Mishnah, in a previous Mishnah, that in a relationship where the man and woman are permitted to each other, and their Kiddushin takes effect, the child has the same status as the father. Right? If you have a Kohen marrying a Yisraelis, what's the status of the child? Child's a Kohen. Because in a situation where they're allowed to be married, there is a marriage, Kiddushin is effective, they're allowed to be married, you follow the father. Okay? Thus, when a Chalol marries an ordinary Jewess, which is entirely permitted, and the Kiddushin takes effect, their children are, therefore, when a Chalol marries an ordinary Jewess, which is entirely permitted, and the Kiddushin takes effect, their children are Chalolim. They follow the father. Their sons, in turn, pass this status on to their sons, and so on. And from then on, the pattern continues. The Chalol marries, let's say, Yisraelis, the grandson, okay, but he's a Chalol. So the status of Chalol passes on to his son. Now, in the case of where a non-Kohen marries a Chalola, and we say that the daughter born from them is not a Chalola, is the same idea. This is based on the same rule. If an ordinary Jewish man married a Chalola, the children are honorary Jews like the father, and not chalalim like the mother, because they're the same idea. They're allowed to be married. There's Kiddushin. You follow the father. Is the father a chalal? No. So the daughter's not a chalal, so she can go to marry a Kohen. The Mishnah specifies that the husband is a Yisrael, which really means not a Kohen. If a chalala were to marry a Kohen, the children, male and female, would be chalalim, since they are from a union between a Kohen and a woman who is specifically forbidden to Kohanim. Okay? There the point is, a Kohen cannot marry a chalala. So if the chalala's husband was a Kohen, that means you have example of a Kohen marrying a woman he's not allowed to be married to, and the child from that union is automatically a chalal, male or female. Okay, so that's the first part of the Mishnah. Then the Mishnah concludes, Rabbi Yehuda says, Bas ger zachar, kebas chalal zachar. The daughter of a male convert is like the daughter of a male chalal. Now what that means according to Rabbi Yehuda is that just as a male chalal passes his status to his daughter, so does a male convert pass his status to his daughter. Thus, like a convert should not marry a Kohen. Meaning, Rabbi Yehuda is saying something very novel. I mean, it sounds novel. We're going to learn the next mission. Everybody agrees with this. But Rabbi Yehuda holds that we know that can a Kohen marry a ger? Can a Kohen marry a geyoris? He may not. Now, let's say a ger marries a woman, allowed to marry her. You know, the Kiddushin works. What's the status of the daughter? According to Rabbi Yehuda, follow the father. The father's status is a ger, and therefore the daughter will have the status of a convert. And if the daughter has the status of a convert, she can't marry a Kohen. That's what Rabbi Yehuda holds. She's the daughter of the ger, the male ger, is like the daughter of the male chalal. The same way the male chalal passes down his status of chalal to his children, male or female, the ger has a status also of not being able, a geyoris is not able to marry, a ger is in the status of not being able to marry a Kohen, which really doesn't manifest itself by a male ger, manifests itself by a female ger. But the point is, a Kohen cannot marry a geyoris, and therefore, if a male ger marries a woman, he passes on his status to the child. He's a convert, the child has the status of a convert. If it's a girl and she has the status of a convert, she can't marry a Kohen. So that's what Rabbi Yehuda says when he means the daughter of a male ger is like the daughter of a male chalal. Just like a male chalal, everybody agrees his daughter is a chalala, she can't marry a Kohen. Rabbi Yehuda says the same thing applies to the daughter of a male convert. His status of convert goes over to his children. That means his daughter would have the status of a convert, of a geyoris, and she may not marry a Kohen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.